Welcome back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Join the Patreon for this character sheet and a whole bunch more, and like and subscribe for bigger weapons next time you play. Maybe. Today we're building Sango from Inuyasha, which I'm not even joking is maybe the hardest character we've built. Superman, easy. Doom guy, no problem. But getting a giant boomerang and a flying mountable firefox are just things that are really hard to do in Dungeons & Dragons. But I like a challenge, and I like Sango, so let's figure it out. Let's start off with our goals for this build. First, we need the big boomerang, a thrown weapon that's absolutely massive and deals damage accordingly. Next, we need a mountable, flaming, flying, fox, so 7 different concentration spells at the same time, easy peasy. Finally, we need some extra demon hunting tools, poison clouds, salves, and a grippy whippy. For stats, we'll be using the standard point array from the player's handbook. Roll for stats if you want, just keep your multi-classing minimums in mind. Strength will be number 1. You use a thrown weapon that's bigger than you are. It's like if Cloud Strife didn't just swing the Buster Sword and yeeted it at Sephiroth instead. Wisdom next, tracking down demons requires some tracking skills. Dexterity after that, even though Sango probably has the strength for plate mail, she prefers to keep things light. Follow that with Constitution. Dying means you can't save your brother, and that's kind of important to you. Intelligence is a bit low, you know demons, but Kagome is the brains of the bunch. She has a couple centuries worth of knowledge on everyone, so don't feel too bad about it. We'll dump Charisma. You're not unlikable, we just don't need it. Miroku likes you, but he's not exactly the hardest guy to win over. Well, I should say he's not the most difficult guy to win over. Sango is a human, but I want the stats from custom lineage, so we'll use that. That's because we're grabbing the Crusher feat for +1 strength, the ability to push a creature 5 feet when you hit them with a bludgeoning weapon, and a critical hit with a bludgeoning weapon gives everyone advantage on attacks against that creature until the start of your next turn. For your boomerang, we have to use a light hammer, which sounds counterintuitive since it's in light. There are boomerangs in a specific module of D&D, but people got mad at me for using them on Sokka. I used them on Sokka because people got mad when I didn't use them for Captain Boomerang. So we're just gonna keep bouncing back and forth, making alternate camps mad. I can't choose both. This will end up working out better for Sango anyway. Bump your strength to 18 right away with your 2 free points, take acrobatics for your skill of choice, and build your own background for medicine and arcana proficiency. Both are useful skills when hunting down demons. Rangers are also great at hunting down demons with 3 skills from the ranger list like athletics, survival, and perception. You can choose a favorite enemy type for advantage on tracking checks. Fiends are the obvious pick. If you want to push that even further, use Canny for expertise and survival, doubling your proficiency bonus to those checks. Nobody's gonna escape you, at least not if they have a crystal shard. Second level rangers can choose a fighting style. Thrown weapon fighting will start adding some oomph to your boomf-arang with +2 to the damage rolls with thrown weapons. Unfortunately, it doesn't boost the damage die at all, so you'll need the spell Hunter's Mark for that. That lets you pick a creature to deal an extra d6 of damage to with weapon attacks, and you'll get advantage on tracking them. Now, your d4 +6 thrown hammer is a d6 plus a d4 +6 thrown hammer. That's basically a d10, maybe a little better. This is another thing people get really sweaty about for some reason. Fog Cloud creates a 20-foot radius of heavily obscuring fog. You could use it to escape or just hide a lot. It also obscures your enemies though, so keep that in mind. Third level rangers can choose a Conclave, and this is how we'll do Kilala, but we need to make some choices first. The only fox I could find in D&D is in Icewind Dale, and it's a tiny beast, which means that if you want to mount it, you need to increase its size by 3 times. That isn't something you can do. Beast of the Land would give you a medium beast, so we'd only need the Enlarge Reduce spell to mount it, but that's a concentration spell, and we can't make it fly. Find Greater Steed could get us a saber-toothed tiger, already big enough to mount, and the spells we cast on ourselves impact the beast as well. So, a Chardalon Stride would give you extra speed and fire steps on your mount. However, that means at least 13 levels of Paladin or 6 levels of Bard, and even if all that worked, it wouldn't be able to fly. But if I made that work, you'd be okay with it, right? That would be a good Kilala, even though it's a tiger and not a fox. Good. I'm glad we agree that reflavoring things that are mechanically consistent is fine. Because Sango is a Drake Warden, which will give you a small dragon companion that can bite people, and you can command it with your bonus action. That's all it does currently, so it's a little baby Kilala that'll get bigger later. Let's also grab Cure Wounds here, healing 1d8 plus your wisdom modifier to a creature you touch as an action, just making some practical medicine for you and your friends. 4th level rangers get an ability score improvement, so cap off your strength score. I suppose it's worth noting your sword can also use your strength modifier, even if it is a finesse weapon. Finesse weapons don't have to use dexterity, it's just an extra option. action. 5th level rangers get an extra attack, letting you make 2 attacks instead of 1 with your action. Technically your boomerang won't come back to you. The light hammers are very spammable. You can also learn 2nd level spells like Lesser Restoration to remove an effect of disease, blindness, deafness, paralyzation, or paralysis on a creature for a medicinal medicine that heals more than hit points. 6th level rangers get Roving, increasing your movement speed by 5 feet and giving you a climbing and swimming speed to always get where you need to go. 7th level Drake Wardens get the Bond of Fang and Scale. Giving your Drake a flying speed, it grows to medium sized and you can still mount it if you're medium, though that makes it lose its flying speed. Its bite attack will also deal an additional d6 of fire damage, and you get resistance to fire damage for being friends with a kitsune. Just nice little buffs for you and your baby. You can also grab another spell here. Ensnaring Strike is a 1st level spell that forces a strength saving throw on a creature you hit with a weapon attack, restraining them if they fail. Until they make a strength check to break out, they take an additional d6 of piercing damage every round. Put this on the end of a whip, and now you have a grappling whip. I love this build. Not only does it have a giant firefox, it also uses 3 different weapons for 3 different reasons. Can you imagine playing a character that doesn't just use the same weapon for every fight? That'd be bananas. 8th level rangers get another ability score improvement. Start working on wisdom for better tracking abilities and harder to resist ranger spells. We're about to get a very big one. 9th level rangers can learn 3rd level spells. Conjure Barrage forces a dexterity saving throw on creatures in a 60-foot cone in front of you, dealing 3d8 damage to those that fail, half as much to those that succeed. The damage type is determined by the ammunition or thrown weapon you're using, so the light hammer would be bludgeoning. It's supposed to be a bunch of pieces of that ammunition, but I think calling it a very big field clearing boomerang is more than fair. 10th level rangers get Tireless, letting you give yourself temporary HP equal to 1d8 plus your wisdom modifier and amount of times per long rest equal to your proficiency bonus as an action. It's basically an extra hit die you can pop between fights. You also get Nature's Veil to turn invisible as a bonus action until the start of your next turn, and amount of times per long rest equal to your proficiency bonus. We can't invest in dexterity as much as I'd like, but this should help you be sneaky. 11th level Drake Wardens get Drake's Breath, letting you force a dexterity saving throw on creatures in a 30-foot cone, dealing 8d6 acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison damage once per long rest for free, and then again with 3rd level spell slots after that. Not really a Sango thing, but considering this is the first ability from the subclass we've gotten that isn't in character, I think it's still working pretty well. 12th level rangers get another ability score improvement. Keep working on that wisdom for better medicines. 13th level rangers can learn 4th level spells. Freedom of movement stops you from being slowed down, paralyzed, or restrained. You can even break out of non-magical shackles with 5 feet of movement. It should make sure you're not losing out on any of your mobility. 14th level rangers get Vanish, letting you hide as a bonus action. This is where ranger starts getting kind of bad. There's nothing good after this point of Ranger. Why would we even be here? I mean, I guess 15th level Drake Wardens get Perfected Bond, adding an extra d6 of elemental damage to Kilala's bite, making her large so you can ride her and use the flying speed, and you can give yourself or Kilala resistance to damage as a reaction, and amount of times per long rest equal to your proficiency bonus, provided you're within 30 feet of her. Yeah, that's pretty good. Ranger's real power comes from their subclasses, and this means we finally have a flying fire mount. Hell yeah! 16th level Rangers get another ability score improvement. Cap off your wisdom modifier for the best boomerang barrages. We'll round this off by jumping to fighter for another fighting style like dueling to add 2 to the damage of a weapon you're holding one-handed, so now your sword and whip will also hit a little harder. You also get second wind, letting you heal 1d10 plus your fighter level as a bonus action once per short rest, letting you save your spell slot healing for your friends. Second level fighters get an action surge, letting you make 2 actions in 1 turn once per short rest. That's up to 4 attacks, or a conjured barrage and 2 attacks. Action surge works really well with spellcasters. Third level fighters can choose a martial archetype. Eldritch Knights get weapon bond, letting you pick a weapon you can conjure to yourself as a bonus action. Now the light hammer can be a boomerang. We did it, gamers. You also get some spells from the wizard list. We'll just get things that don't really use your modifier or can practically be used without it. Create Bonfire makes a bonfire. It also deals damage, but I just want it for camping. True Strike lets you remind your audience that they've been pretty swell lately. Haven't felt the need to kick out the bigots. Hopefully they're just all gone. Love you, gang. It also gives you advantage on an attack next round. That's just bad. Attack twice. For first level spells, Shield adds 5 to your AC as a reaction. Mage Armor makes your AC 13 plus your dexterity modifier when you're not wearing armor, and Long Strider adds 10 feet to your movement speed. Ranger spells are better for you, and choosing Eldritch Knight gives you another 4th level spell slot and another 5th level spell slot to upcast the Conjure Barrage with. Our capstone is the 4th level of Fighter. For one last ability score improvement, I guess throw it into Constitution for better concentration, 20 more HP. Everybody should level a little more HP. Now that we've hit level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, flying around on a fire monster isn't just cool, it's practical, keeping you out of the melee range of martial foes. You're also loaded with supportive of abilities, healing, status clearing, or just giving a ride to your injured friends. Finally, you're an expert at tracking. Finding the demons should be no issue. For weaknesses, just use a bow. Thrown weapons are bad. You can't use sharpshooter, the range is low, any buffs you'd apply to the weapon go away because you threw them. Using a bow would also help you prioritize your dexterity more, which would make your AC not the paltry 14 in mage armor or 16 in medium armor. That's not great. Finally, low charisma means you're going to be fighting every time. Talking your way to peace is probably not an option. Thankfully, you're pretty good at fighting. Saddle up, boom your rang, and get your friends out of danger if you need to. Maybe just get some better AC. You could have someone hacking you to pieces. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, subscribe for more. We make 2 videos every week. Join the Patreon for this character sheet and a whole bunch more, and sub to Tulok and Mango for more Tulok fun.